I was calmly browsing through the shelves at the convenience store when suddenly a hooded man jumped at the cashier, pulling out a gun.
Give me all the cash. Now.
Everyone started panicking, except me. I'd been waiting for a moment like this my entire life. "Hey, you," I called out. The robber turned to face me, and the whole room fell silent in shock. I walked toward him slowly. "It's so hot in here, don't you think?"
Stay back, sweetheart. I've got a gun.
Not anymore. Before he could react, I grabbed his arm, twisted it, and pinned him to the floor in a tight hold. "It's jail time, buddy," I said with a smirk. And that's how you catch a criminal. "Hi, my name is Rachel, and I've always dreamed of becoming a detective, just like my dad." As the police were arresting the robber, someone approached me with a proud smile. It was Detective Deke Blake, my favorite officer. I'd met him last year during a summer program for aspiring high school detectives, and we'd stayed in touch ever since.
"You're something else, kid."
He said. "Kid?" I scoffed. Annoying, considering I actually liked him. "I learned from the best," I replied, hoping he'd notice the hint.
"If you're free tonight, how about dinner?"
He asked. My heart skipped a beat. Was this finally the moment he'd confess his feelings for me? The anticipation was killing me. We went to a cozy, romantic restaurant, and my heart was racing. Then, he leaned forward, his expression serious.
"Rachel, I know you've been waiting for this moment.
"You bet I have," I said, holding my breath.
We've got a tough case, and we need your help."
I felt like an idiot for misinterpreting. "Tell me about it," I said, trying to sound composed.
It's a gold smuggling operation. The main suspect is a businessman named Mr. Anderson, but we need hard evidence to take him down.
"And how can I help?"
He has a son named Chase, a spoiled, reckless high school senior. Chase is looking for a female bodyguard, someone attractive, sharp, and capable. That's where you come in.
"So you want me to spy on Mr. Anderson while pretending to be Chase's bodyguard?"
Exactly. We need you to find out where he's hiding the gold.
"Mission accepted," I said confidently. Thanks to my dad, who'd been training me in martial arts since I was 2, I was more than ready for the job. Blake prepared my fake documents, and I was quickly hired. I was thrilled, but little did I know this mission was about to turn into the most chaotic experience of my life. When I first met Mr. Anderson, I was immediately on edge. His entire demeanor screamed danger. While he explained my duties, I scanned the room with my eyes. Surveillance cameras were everywhere, which meant gathering evidence would be harder than I thought.
"I love my son more than anything,"
He said.
"Do your best to protect him."
"I'll make sure you won't regret hiring me, sir," I replied. He handed me a thick portfolio on Chase. The first thing I noticed? Chase was ridiculously good-looking. Mr. Anderson said Chase was waiting for me in his room, so I headed there. The moment I opened the door, something, or rather someone, jumped at me. It was Chase, and he looked like a scared puppy. "Is everything okay?" I asked.
"Get that disgusting creature away from me."
I followed his gaze and spotted a cockroach crawling toward us. I calmly stepped on it. "Don't worry, it's gone," I said. When Chase finally opened his eyes, I was caught off guard. He was the most handsome guy I'd ever seen. Our eyes locked, and my heart skipped a beat. But then he jumped back, clearing his throat.
"I just find bugs gross. That's all. Anyway, you must be the new bodyguard."
"Rachel, at your service,"
"Dad sure knows my type."
he muttered. Then he smirked.
"So, do you want to make out?"
"Do you want to get punched?" I replied.
"Playing hard to get, huh? I like that."
"I was hired to protect you, not date you," I said, rolling my eyes.
"You'll end up being my girlfriend anyway, so why waste time?"
When he tried to touch me, I instinctively hit him hard enough to send him flying into the wall.
"Are you insane?
He shouted.
You're supposed to protect me, not kill me."
Sorry, reflexes.
"Fix those stupid reflexes, or I'll tell Dad to fire you."
Loud and clear, sir, I replied with mock seriousness. Later that night, when everyone was asleep, I snuck around the mansion to install spy cameras. I had to gather evidence on Mr. Anderson as quickly as possible. The next day at school, Chase. When a group of boys surrounded me, he started throwing dollar bills at them.
Here's $1,000 each. Back off from my bodyguard.
The boys scattered like scared rats, and I turned to Chase. "Why did you do that?" I asked. "I can handle myself,"
I want your focus on me.
he said smugly. "Trust me, I don't get distracted by stupid things," I replied, rolling my eyes. Suddenly, Chase slipped on a piece of tissue paper. Before he could hit the ground, I caught him just in time. Our faces were inches apart, and for a moment I got lost in his beautiful blue eyes. Then a high-pitched voice broke the moment.
Hubby Boo, what's the meaning of this? Are you cheating on me?
I quickly let go of Chase and he stumbled back. Based on his file, the girl must be Vanessa, his girlfriend.
This girl is my bodyguard. She was just protecting me.
Chase explained.
Oh, what a relief!
Vanessa sighed dramatically, then latched onto Chase like a vacuum cleaner.
I'm your one and only, always and forever, right, Hubby Boo?
For the rest of the day, Vanessa clung to him and shot daggers at me every chance she got. Later, Chase dragged me into the janitor's closet.
I actually don't like Vanessa.
He confessed.
She's just obsessed with me, and I felt bad for her.
"And why are you telling me this?"
Don't be jealous.
he said with a sly grin. "Huh? You're impossible."
I've broken up with her plenty of times, but she won't leave me alone. From now on, I want you to keep her away from me.
"Copy that, sir," I said with a sigh. That night, I checked the spy camera footage and saw Mr. Anderson entering his room with a briefcase. I needed access to that room. While heading back to my quarters, I bumped into Vanessa.
Listen, tough girl,
She snapped.
stay away from my future husband.
"Sorry, but I can't. I'm paid to stick by his side 24/7.
There's no way you're not attracted to him, unless you're a lesbian. Are you into me instead?
I smirked and leaned in closer. "Maybe,"
Oh, get away from me.
she shrieked, running off. From that point on, anytime Vanessa got near Chase, I'd make pouty lips at her, and she'd bolt. It was an effective strategy, though it only added to my growing frustration. Chase was an absolute pain, constantly complaining about the smallest things. One time, he threw a fit over a mosquito bite.
How could you not stop it from biting me? My precious blood.
"Relax, sir," I said, stifling a laugh. Another day, he decided to skip school to shop for a yacht. As we walked toward the docks, a group of gangsters appeared.
Well, Chase.
One of them sneered.
Who's the girl? She looks like my next girlfriend.
Chase shoved him.
Don't you dare touch her.
The thug lunged at Chase, but I quickly intercepted, twisting his arm. "Run home to mommy," I said, glaring at him.
Get her, boys.
He yelled. I took them all down in seconds, and when I turned to Chase, he looked completely stunned. Even in the car ride home, he just stared at me.
You're the coolest and prettiest girl I've ever met.
He finally said, lifting his hand to touch my face. "Don't push your luck," I warned. Later that evening, while everyone was asleep, I tiptoed around the mansion and double-checked the cameras I'd installed. I needed to catch Mr. Anderson red-handed, and my patience was running thin. The next morning, I told Chase I wasn't feeling well, so I wouldn't have to accompany him to school. As soon as the coast was clear, I snuck into Mr. Anderson's room. After thoroughly searching, I found a hidden button beneath the bathroom sink. When I pressed it, the bathtub slid away, revealing a trapdoor with a keypad. After multiple attempts, I cracked the code, opened the door, and descended into an underground room. My jaw dropped. It was filled with gold bars. I quickly took pictures and called Blake for backup. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed from behind me.
You little witch!
I turned to see Mr. Anderson, his face contorted with rage. He charged at me, but before he could lay a hand on me, Blake and a team of officers stormed in, guns drawn.
Mr. Anderson, you're under arrest.
Blake declared. As Anderson was led away in handcuffs, Blake approached me with a proud smile.
Great work, future detective.
He said, ruffling my hair.
Now you can ditch that punk and hang out with me again.
I was about to reply when a familiar voice interrupted.
So, it was all about this, huh?
I turned to see Chase standing in the doorway. His face was pale, his eyes filled with hurt. Chase, let me explain, I began.
No need. Congratulations on your mission.
He said coldly before walking away. My heart sank as I watched him leave. I told myself this was for the best, but it didn't feel right. 2 years passed, and I was now studying criminology at university. One afternoon, I decided to try a new restaurant near campus. As I walked in, I froze. There, behind the counter, was Chase, looking more handsome than ever.
Rachel, what are you doing here?
He asked, his eyes lighting up. I could ask you the same thing, I replied, trying to hide my nervousness.
I took your advice and followed my dream. I opened this restaurant.
He said with a smile. That's amazing, I managed to say. Before I could say anything else, a familiar figure walked into the restaurant. Vanessa. She greeted Chase with a big hug, and jealousy twisted in my chest. I quickly turned to leave, but Chase ran after me.
Are you jealous?
He teased. What? No, I lied.
Relax. Vanessa realized she actually likes girls, and we're just friends now.
He said, smirking. Oh, I mumbled, feeling foolish. He stepped closer and gently held my hands.
I've been in love with someone else for a long time. I bet you know who.
You're supposed to hate me for what I did to your dad, I said softly.
He's a criminal. He deserved it. What hurt me was thinking you only pretended to care about me.
When did I ever say I was pretending? I asked, my voice trembling. His cheeks turned pink, and I couldn't help but smile. Without thinking, I grabbed his collar and kissed him. Sorry, I said after pulling away. Reflex. He grinned.
Let's make it a habit then.